What's going on, guys? Welcome back to some more Pokemon Showdown. I know that I have been gone for quite a long time. It was December 22nd the last time I uploaded, so that was a good 17 days ago, almost 3 weeks. Just a little over two and a half, I guess. And yeah, that's just because, I was busy celebrating. I celebrate Christmas. If you do too, Merry Christmas. If not, then happy whatever you celebrate. Um, I was also celebrating New Year's, relaxing. I had time off from my job, which was also very nice. And ironically, I didn't feel like working on uploading until I started working again yesterday. So it's kind of weird. You would think that on vacation it would be the perfect time to upload, but I didn't. So I'm sorry for that. But as you can see, we have a Pokemon Showdown replay today, and it's just going to be one battle. The reason being, I'm also quite sick, not quite sick, just kind of sick. Sick enough to be sniffly, and you might hear me sniffle a few times in this narration, which is a shame, but I don't know, I don't notice or can't control it most of the time. But yeah, there's that, and I can't really muster up the strength maybe, to do a whole live session right now, mostly because it'll be full of more sniffles, more coughs, just fatigue in general, so there's that. But hopefully you can settle for this replay for right now. I think it's a pretty good battle, and I'll get to the live session in the next day or two once I start feeling better. As for this particular video, I'll be using a team that a subscriber passed to me, very thankfully. A subscriber by the name of Walnut Sloth, probably my first subscriber. I think it was my first subscriber. And he or she, I'm pretty sure he, but I'm not going to make any assumptions. Passed me the team, and the only difference between the original and the team that I'm using now is that I'm using a Scrafty in the place of a Mega Gallade, which I found out was banned as soon as I got it, and then that was replaced by Mega Sableye, which was also banned at the time. And so I decided on Scrafty, and I really like the team. This was a good battle, and let's just go ahead and see what we got going on here. So I'll definitely be doing some pausing. Let's take a look at team preview right here. As you can see, I've got Starmie, which is Life Orb with Hydro Pump, Psyshock, and Grass Knot plus Recover. It's Natural Cure, so I can rid myself of statuses. I've got the very powerful Sub-Focus Punch, Wood Hammer, Ice Shard, Abomasnow with Soundproof. I have another battle that I really enjoyed where it just completely dominated a team because there was a Swampert that tried to use Roar on it, so that was pretty bad for them. I've got Bulk Up, Rest, Knockoff, not Bulk Up, Rest, Drain Punch, Knockoff. Leftovers, mostly specially defensive, Scrafty with Shed Skin to relieve myself of statuses and the like, burns, toxics, freezes, paralyze, and my own sleep. So then I've got Skyplate Crobat with Roost, Defog, U-Turn, and Brave Bird. Very strong. It's Adamant, max attack, max speed as well, and it's pretty good. I think I should run like a Jolly Spread with like a little bit more bulk or something like that, even though I miss out on the 10% power from Adamant. It would be helpful to outspeed certain things like Alakazam and other things. But we've got Choice Scarf, Rotom-H. It's got the Overheat, the Trick, Thunderbolt, and Volt Switch, and then we've got a support Diancie with Heal Bell, Stealth Rock, Diamond Storm, and Moonblast. On my opponent's team, we've got what I assume to be a specially defensive Umbreon, physically defensive Porygon, a powerful Infernape, physical attacking most likely. At the beginning of the battle, I wasn't sure what kind of set it would be. I was sure it wasn't the anti-lead set, so it was probably Life Orb or something, Expert Belt maybe. Then we've got Donphan, which actually surprised me in this battle, and you'll see why. Potentially Focus Sash, potentially Life Orb, Alakazam. That tripped me up throughout the battle, which caused me to make some maybe questionable plays, but I think they were the safest plays to make regardless. And then we've got typical Sash, Sticky Web, Galvantula. And it's a pretty good battle. It's about 33 turns long. It's not too long, but it's I do enjoy it. So let's just get into it. I'm gonna lead off with my Rotom, as my opponent leads off with Galvantula. Now, my thought process here was to go for the Volt Switch as he sets up his Sticky Web, and then go into my Crobat, which I know will outspeed it. And I could go for the Brave Bird and knock it out, because that'll encourage him to want to stay in, and maybe go for the Thunder or something like that, you know, on my Crobat, try and knock it out, expecting me to maybe defog. By the way, Mega Master Dude's my opponent, is a very nice person. Hasn't played a lot of UU, but, you know, more into OU, but that's beside the point. Right here, being a little bit faster would have helped me, you know, go for the U-turn on this Alakazam, but instead I just hard switch out into my Scrafty, knowing that this Psychic is coming. Now, because a lot of Alakazam tend to run the Dazzling Gleam, I'm just going to make a sort of middle ground play here and switch out into my Dancy, but he actually switches out into his Donphan, which I know it wasn't a prediction. I don't know what he was planning on doing. I guess he just expected that, you know, he's kind of bulky on the physical side, he can take me on. But I don't want to stay in against this. I know that I can go into my Crobat and potentially defog because the Earthquake is coming. Or I could Roost. But he actually turns out to have the Gyro Ball and the Life Orb, which I've never seen before. Never ever seen before. It's kind of odd to have Gyro Ball and the, what do you call it? Sticky Web, but he does. And I know that the Stone Edge is coming because he's a Life Orb, so he's going to have that. So I'm going to go for the Roost, knowing that he won't do too much damage to me afterward. Then predicting the second Stone Edge, because it's pretty much his only play, I go into my Scrafty who can take it, and I'm just kind of hoping that I can live an Earthquake, get up a Bulk Up, and then live a second Earthquake with enough HP to get off a Rest. But it turns out that his Earthquake does quite a lot of damage, and I don't think that after Leftovers and the +1, I'm going to be able to live another Earthquake. And regardless, it's his best play to go for, so he's going to go for it again. I know this. I'm going to go into my Rotom because, you know, I'll resist that, outspeed him. I can kill him with an Overheat. I'm going to pause right here to explain my thought process as well. So I know that going for Overheat leaves me open to threats like the Infernape and, well, Infernape's the only threat, but it leaves me open to Umbreon and Porygon coming in as well, because they know they can take a hit from me after I'm locked in on a -2 Overheat. They're going to be able to take a hit. So knowing this, I'm expecting to kill the Donphan and then go into my, potentially go into my Scrafty if I can, just in order to get, I don't know if I already went for the rest. No, I did not. To get a rest off, and at that point, you know, do whatever. But if he goes into Infernape, I could probably go into my Starmie, knowing that I wall its dual stabs, and could probably scare it out with a Psyshock, despite the fact that I'm at -1 speed. So that's kind of my thought process there. I'm looking forward a couple of turns here, and so I do actually get to knock him out with the Overheat, which is fine with me, because Donphan's out of the way. It was actually surprisingly strong. And this will still scare out the Alakazam, because Alakazam is frail as hell. Seeing that the Infernape comes in, I do take this opportunity to go into my Starmie, and he reveals to me here that he has the Power-Up Punch, which is interesting. I've never seen that on Infernape, but I guess it kind of makes sense if he's Iron Fist. It definitely does make sense. But he surprises me with the Thunder Punch, even though, you know, I've run Thunder Punch on my Infernape in the past. I don't know why I was caught off guard, but I was. But regardless, I know I can go into my Rotom here and just go for the Volt Switch, because he's not going to go for the Thunder Punch, and once I Volt Switch, I can go into my Crobat and knock him out, because I was also thinking maybe he's Sash, and I don't want to take that chance. I'm not sure what item he was at this point, but he does go into Umbreon right here, which is perfect, because now I get one opportunity to go into my Scrafty and get off a rest, because I know he's not going to be able to do anything to me. I mean, most Umbreon carry Toxic, Wish, Protect, Foul Play, and I'm just going to go for the rest, so Toxic doesn't matter. Foul Play is 4 times resisted. Not really worried at all. I have more bulk than I have attack, so definitely not worried. And here I kind of expect him to want to switch out into his Infernape, I think, and I make the double switch, just wanting to preserve my Scrafty at as high a health as possible. knowing that against the Porygon and the Umbreon, I have chances to wake up. So I do predict his Infernape correctly, and I can just go for the Brave Bird really safely. It's the most conservative play, even though Porygon could easily come in. I'd rather get off damage on that, force it to recover. Oh, no, I don't. Of course, I forgot the Sticky Web was still up. I can go for the Defog right there for free. And then U-turn on the Porygon and go into my Scrafty to try and wake up. So, oh no, I go into Diancie. Man, I'm messing this up. I should have watched it more times, even though I just had the battle. Regardless, Ice Beam does a considerable amount of damage because he is at +1 thanks to the download, and I am physically defensive. So I'm just going to take this opportunity to get up my Stealth Rocks. And he goes into his Alakazam, which leads me to believe that he has the Energy Ball, but I do not need my Diancie, and I can't switch anything into a Energy Ball and then take another hit, pretty much. So I'm just going to let Diancie die there to that. So he could actually be Life Orb, and I'm not sure at this point, like I said, because Alakazam can run Life Orb or Sash, but I know that I can break that potential Sash with my Rotom by going for the Volt Switch and then going into an appropriate counter. But judging by how he switched out, he might actually be Choice Specs, which is not the most common, but I guess it's a possibility. Here I'm going to go and try and wake up with my Scrafty because the Porygon has a chance to recover. It's basically a free turn for me here. I knew I wouldn't wake up that turn, but I might wake up at the end of the turn. However, I did not, and the next turn I'm going to, also not wake up my second turn of sleep, but I wake up at the end of the turn. Doesn't matter. I was going to wake up the next turn. I tried to attack anyway, so it's cool. My Scrafty's at full health, and I know he's going to go for the Power-Up Punch right here, or the Close Combat, but most likely the Power-Up Punch, because I don't know if he's actually carrying the CC. Maybe he's carrying Mach Punch instead. But he goes and switches out knowing that the Brave Bird could come, and I do go for the Brave Bird now, like I was saying before, just the conservative play. And Brave Bird does 31%, leads me to believe this is actually a physically defensive Porygon. I don't know, just based on the makeup of his team. And I do go for the U-turn knowing it was completely safe, bring him down to a point where he could recover. But he actually ends up going for the Thunderbolt, which is totally fine with me because now I get a free chance to Drain Punch. And I do expect him to switch right into his Infernape. However, he does not do that. He actually takes this opportunity to recover, which is fine with me. Totally fine. It makes sense. He knew he could take a hit because, like I said, he's physically defensive. And I'm still back up at 100% health. And he switches out now, but he goes out into his Alakazam as I go for the Bulk Up, I believe. Yeah, thinking that he would just stay in, but that was a pretty bad play on my part. He had no reason to stay in there at all. But still fearing the Dazzling Gleam from earlier, I make the kind of risky switch into my Rotom, even though I know I can live a hit from it no matter what. Focus Blast does a lot of damage. I might not have lived a Psychic, just looking at that damage. So he's looking more and more specs to me now. But I still live, and I can get up a Volt Switch, break his potential Sash, and go out into something to mess this Porygon up. And instead of going into my Scrafty this time, I'd rather save it in the back. And I've been waiting to get Abomasnow out in this battle for some time. And I do perfectly get the sub up, knowing that he's at a low enough health to where he's going to want to go for the recover. And that's just perfect for me right now because I'm behind a sub, and I don't think he can break my sub. He might be able to, but it doesn't matter because I know Focus Punch is going to wreck him. But he was better off trying to stay in and take that if he knew it was coming. But instead he goes out into his Infernape trying to just get the type advantage on me, and actually gets completely smashed by the Focus Punch, but lives. I'm really surprised. This is Adamant Abomasnow. Max attack. But, the Focus Punch doesn't knock it out, but the Ice Shard does, so I'm still sitting behind a sub with a great amount of HP, and I'm in just a really solid position. So the only thing that he can really do at this point is go into his Alakazam, and Alakazam is not going to take a Wood Hammer very nicely. I could have probably killed it with a Focus Punch, to be honest, but there was no reason to do that. I might as well just take the extra damage from the recoil on Wood Hammer, and at this point he knows he's going to lose to either Abomasnow or my Scrafty, and he forfeits. So that was a really good battle. I had a really great time against you Mega Master dudes, even though I know you won't see this. Um, it was fun. I got to show off two of my favorite parts of this team, which are Abomasnow and Scrafty. Um, just really good mons. They do fare pretty well in the UU metagame, despite what I was thinking. You know, Abomasnow doesn't seem like the UU type, but it actually did well. Scrafty is of course the UU type, and it's so incredibly bulky. Like, I love this. This is my favorite Scrafty set. People like the Dragon Dance, Moxie, the bulk up, Moxie, maybe Intimidate, whatever. But Shed Skin's so useful, especially in conjunction with Rest, if you just make a really bulky Scrafty. So good. But I think this video has been going on long enough now. I hope you really enjoyed the battle. I did. And be prepared for a session with this team, this Slothfest 2014 team, coming very soon. But until then, I will see you guys all next time. Peace.